Yo, Big Daddy, and welcome to another episode of RoadFS Detail Memoirs. I'm Jody, and on that side is
I'm Rod over here in the studio all by myself, left to my own vices. I got as much coffee and water as I can drink, and there's nothing Jody can do about it.
nothing you can do about it, but that's okay.
And
Usually I can't do anything anyway. So we thought we would liven up the show today and bring some real personality.
yes, sir.
Yeah,
it will
baby.
be live today.
So we got Jamie Buchanan, Emily Buchanan. Obviously, I'm at their shop in Visual Perfection, and I'm telling you, even on a slow day, this shop's hopping.
We have no idea what slow means. That's
Well, obviously,
no.
you're wearing the Flash shirt.
Look at that. I got to run out here, and I'll be right back. I'm just kidding.
No, you're back.
Look,
He's back.
I
Look
got-
at that. That was quick.
3 cars done already.
So, Emily, the real question is, how do you deal with that on a day-to-day basis?
We won't answer that on live television.
That's so funny. Come on, you can tell the truth. This show is about helping people grow their business. So if there's something you're hiding, you need to share.
This is a safe place. This is a safe
Safe.
place.
We'll say coffee. How about coffee? Coffee.
That's super fun.
Oh, no.
So
yeah,
Jamie,
so
that
I-
is something that, I mean, we joke about it a lot because when we're around you, everybody's joking. It's always a good time, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But seriously, how do you maintain such a positive attitude, such a infectious positive attitude is the way I would describe it. When you're around Jamie, you're going to have a good day. And it doesn't matter what's going on around you. I would imagine if the Titanic were sinking, I would want to be next to Jamie because we'd be laughing the entire time we were going down.
We're going down, baby.
We're going down, baby. Don't you worry. We got this.
I got you.
Yes, sir. Man, well, you really just have to make it all about the customer. You know, it's as me and Jody was talking this morning, it's their experience. It's the experience that you give them when they're here. And so you just make it all about them because that's really what it's all about. They want it to be all about them, so make it all about them.
Yeah, I love that because it's interesting kind of being here on site and watching you guys interact with everybody. Not only the customers, but also your team. I mean, everybody is like, you cannot come into this office and not leave with a smile. I mean, you just can't. I mean, you get caught up. In fact, it's funny because I'm driving from this way coming to the thing, and Jamie saw me at the end of the road. I'm like, how do you see me in a rental car? And it's funny because as we were sitting out in the parking lot, you see a car go by, and you're like, hey, buddy. He knows people by their car, not just by the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I told him if I had 50 cents for every time somebody went by and blowed, listen, I'm getting one of those little rafts like you put in the pool. You know, it's like a pink flamingo. I'm going to be shaking that thing's neck and just waving at everybody. Let them toss the 50 cent in the cup. Listen, I'd be a bazillionaire. Absolute bazillionaire. No lie.
Jody, you're not hard to pick out of a car. You're the little tiny short guy in a rental.
Yeah.
You just see a little head next to the.
You could tell he looked like a tourist when he was driving up. So I was like, there's Jody. Yeah. He's swerving in the middle lane, getting out, trying to come in the exit instead of the entrance. And you're like, there's Jody. Come on down here. Let's go, Jody. Come on this end, buddy.
Follow the arrows.
Yes.
Follow the arrows.
We have them painted on the ground. We have signs. I mean, I don't know what else we could do for it.
So
you
one
guys
of the
are
things
gonna
that
have a
was
lot of
really
fun.
cool.
What is
Go ahead,
typical
Ray.
day at the shop? You guys you're on a Thursday. Are you a mix of dealer and customer? Do you got boats? Do you got motorcycles? I mean, what is the makeup of Visual Perfection on a Thursday afternoon?
A little bit of everything. Boats, motorcycles. There's
Church bus.
church buses. How many passenger church bus is that? Like 30?
32, I think.
32 passenger church bus sitting out here. There's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and it's raining, and we need to wax this thing, but that's not going to happen today. So we just kind of let it sit over there and watch us while we're working, and hopefully we'll get to that tomorrow.
Yeah, he came in earlier and said, "Look, Jody, how hard I've been working. I'm just sweating." And she's like, "Nah, it's raining.
Yeah, right.
Don't let him fool you."
Steals the thunder quick.
Yeah, well, that's what she's there for. Keep you grounded.
Preach.
Grounded.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So one of the things that I think is really important, and Rod and I have had conversations about this, and you and I had a conversation about this morning because you shared a customer testimonial,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And in that testimonial, she's sharing how she brought her car to visual perfection, and when she came back, on her seat was a little bag with some Mary Kay lipstick and a $20 bill that had fallen underneath a car seat that she didn't even know about. She didn't even know she was missing. And yet, Visual Perfection team said, "You know what? This isn't ours. This is our customers." And they put it in a nice little baggie and put it on the seat. And I think that's a reflection of the leadership of you two, of going, you know what, no matter what happens, is when a customer comes in, both before, during, and after the customer experience, they feel like they're being taken care of, that they can trust you with every little aspect of their car and them as a customer. And I think that's a real important lesson.
Yeah, that's true. And she was, like you said, she was smiling when she dropped it off, and she was really smiling, when she picked it up. She was like, "Oh, now I got $20 more to spend that my husband don't know about because I think he dropped it, so I'm just going to take that with her." But now she did notice that the lipstick was gently used, but she couldn't tell by my face. That's right. See, she didn't know. She just thought that I had a suntan on my lips. So,
Well, the thing about that is that's like a raise, right? I mean, that's just you get a little lipstick on there.
look, all day long, it was great. Yeah, it was scented too, like strawberry. It was great.
That's what that put the perfection in Visual Perfection right there.
See there, yeah. She went a little extra and got the scented one, so it was nice.
Yeah, but
Well,
the
I think
visual of
really, that is honestly what that word integrity comes to mind, and that's what everybody strives for. But that is what you have to do. I mean, that does not honestly, for you guys, that does not surprise me a bit. That would not surprise me if it was $150. It wouldn't surprise me no matter what, because that is part of the integrity of a true business owner and somebody that you treat people like you want to be treated.
Yeah.
If I take my car somewhere and I left $20 or $5 or 32 cents, that's not a tip. That is something I left in the car. And
That's
I think
right.
that, you see that a lot on the forums about people that'll, what do you do when you find this or do that, or how do you handle that? And most of the people that have what I would call integrity, they literally say, "Oh, I carry baggies with me. If I'm mobile, I got a whole box of Ziploc baggies and I carry them with me, and I put it right back in the car. That's what it's for. That's what you do." So that just seems like kind of par for the course, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And they know that. They know that coming in.
yeah, absolutely. I would expect that. But the question is, when you bring in employees, do you feel like you have to tell them that, or do you weed that out before you bring them in? Right? Rod starts tomorrow. I'm a detailer. Do you feel, either of you feel like you have to tell that new employer? Do you just say, "This is how we handle it. Here's a baggie for all the personal items you find in the car," and you just move on?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they see it. They see it right out of the gate. They understand what we expect right out of the gate. They see it modeled, and then they just mirror that, and then they just take off with it.
Yep.
Well, I think the one challenge, though, to be honest, is I was watching the difference between Emily and Jamie. No, Emily is all business, right? She's managing the office. She's in here greeting the customers. Jamie is bouncing from bay to bay to bay to bay. And then the one thing that I noticed is that, a lady brought in her little Jeep, and I was glad that Emily was the one doing the car inspection, because there's a bunch of little kid blocks in there, and I'm sure Jamie would have got distracted for about 30 minutes. and Emily would have wondered where he is.
Yep.
Happens all the time.
Yep. I would have been playing with the blocks, just just to make sure that they were safe.
Exactly. Again,
no sharp edges.
integrity. It's
Yeah,
everybody's got to be safe.
See, we're taking care of their children too.
This is awesome. So you got enough bays. You can run. What is the maximum number of vehicles you guys can run through there at one time?
9 at a time.
Somebody just fired up a polisher. They put that on 6 and hit that hood, baby.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So
it'd be 9 at a time.
That's a lot. That is a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with 9 at a time.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of people that can do that. So you got, I know I've seen your place, but kind of describe, if you will, Emily, kind of the layout where you guys have separate wash bays, and then you have bays for each individual process.
So right now, the way we are set up, we do not. It's kind of like our tech has their own bay, and they do with it as the way that they want it. They have it set up the way they want it. So most of the time they like to kind of wash outside right now since it is summertime. So once they wash and prep, then they move inside their bay where all the lights are, and then they start cleaning the inside of the vehicles, and then so on and so forth. So each kind of area has their own way of doing things. In our bigger building where we do our ceramics and things like that, we definitely wash in one bay, prep, and then move it over to be polished, and then put in the ceramic bay to be finished out. So kind of different areas have different things.
Yep. No, that makes total sense of how you're running there. So Jody, why don't you talk a little bit about why you're there? Because, people are probably wondering why you're over there. Did you go to work for Jamie, or did you just get sick of Rod, or what's going on?
Yeah, no, I'm not sick of you yet. So I still like you, and I'll be returning on Saturday. So don't miss me too much. So yeah, so we're just here. We were at Southern Detailers Conference, and I was talking to Jamie about his operation, and he said, "Look, why, if you could come back out, and we're gonna implement RotaFest, and I'd just like you to train our team, make sure we have everything dialed in." So Emily and I have been working together this morning to get all of the services, everything set up and configured, get all of the people, in the system so that they can, operate smoothly. What's been cool is, as I've been on site, is really seeing how they work together as a team, because Emily and Jamie really are, the face with the customer as far as, receiving the people as they come in, looking at the car, evaluating what needs to be done, and then they're assigning the technicians to do the work. And so we've been looking at, how do we want to attract employees, which employees, if some that we don't want to track, how we're going to address that. So like they have the big building that a number of technicians are working as a team, and so she doesn't want to track those individually. But there are other technicians that, they get, their payment style is different than the other guys. So we're tracking all of their work and can spit out a report to do that. So it's been really fun. And as we've worked together, we've talked about how we're going to handle boats, how we're going to handle cars, how we're going to handle dealerships. And, being on site's been fun. Most often you and I do this remotely, right? And so right. I was able to come out and be on hands here. And so it's been really fun. And tomorrow I get to go see the Carolina Detail Supply team as well. So yeah, it's been fun to just kind of be together, really understand their process, because that's a nice thing about our software, right? It can be configured to a single operator or a big, robust operation like Jamie's got here, and even bigger. And it's just understanding the business process of how they want to interact with the customers is how we're going to configure the system to best operate for them. So,
right. Okay. So how long, Emily, have you guys been at that current location?
I would say at least 22 years, at least, because my dad started in town here, and they wanted to buy the building, the city did, in order to build a bank, which they never built, but we could never have stayed there. So I would say at least 22 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So, a lot of
One of the
longevity,
things,
family.
well, one of the things that's cool, Rod, is and Jamie is begging for you to be the next guy to come out. That I can't come. Jamie said I can't come next time. Only Rod can come. And but what's really cool is, I was out here a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while, right?
Two. It was two. It didn't come during COVID at all.
And what was really cool was when I was done, Jamie and I were driving down the road, and he goes, "Jody, take the gloves off." He goes, "What do you see in my business that you, from an outside perspective, would recommend that I do?" And one of the things that's really cool about his location is he practically owns this entire street. And I told him, I go, what I would do is I would put signs, Visual Perfection, Detail Mafia, and all the way down the thing. And he implemented that, right? And so it was really cool to come from an outside guy, to have a guy humble enough to go, this is what I would do from a marketing perspective. I would own this entire street. Well, he owns the entire street, not only from a branding perspective, but also there's so many cars here, you can't help but not notice that there's a thriving detailing business here.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
So what's the next step for Visual Perfection? You own a street. You've been there for longer than most people that are watching this have even been in business.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Well, we're looking at a big parcel of land, and I took Jody to see it this morning. It's about quarter to a half a mile from here, and it's on the end of a block of another street. So we're looking at, we're looking at about a 40,000 square foot building. We're going to put everything inside, from boat storage to buffing and ceramic and RVs and boats. And then we're making a big system. And he was telling me that you have a good friend that's in Texas that does a major dealership operation.
Yeah, he does 140 cars a day through the wash bay.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would love to talk to him and see his layout, and even maybe fly out there and meet him, because I've got to get the layout of our building, of how we want to do it, because we have the potential to do as much as we want. Just getting the layout and the structure and getting it right the first time. We don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do have it's a system. You have a system of laying that out, because
that's right. Yeah, we want to get it laid out correctly first.
Yep, a volume versus not that volume. I mean, 9 cars is a lot for most people, but if you're doing 15, 20, 30 cars a day, you're getting up to the point. We got another guy that we deal with that has about he's a dealership guy, and he does about 50 cars a day.
Yeah. Each bay here would be 3 to 5 cars a day out of those 9. So it's really rolling.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah,
it's a lot of rolling.
Yeah, it's kind of hopping all the time.
So explain to people that don't know where you're at, like city, state, phone number, email, all that good stuff. How do people get a hold of you?
So it is Visual Perfection, and our address is going to be 431 East Fleming Drive, which is the whole drive, Morganton, North Carolina, 28655. Phone number would be 828-433-7533. And Morganton, man, is it's a really small town, man. There's about 17,000 people, I guess, here. So it's a small little quaint town, close to Hickory and Charlotte.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So kind of in final wrap up, right? Because this place is hopping. You've already seen Jamie leave. Now Emily's left. They got 2 drivers going to pick up cars a little bit, 2 detailers waiting for his attention. What are, as you look back at the last 22 years, what have been really critical in your growth that you think other detailers need to implement in their business?
Man, to me, you need to go back to the days of where you look a man in the eye, you shake his hand, and what you say is truth is truth. And your customer service is servicing their needs. I know that a lot of us have, we have this package, this package, this package, or we have, you know, this level or this level, instead of allowing the customer to say, look, here's what I need. What can you do for me? And to me, if you do the work, the money will come. It's not about the money; it's about the customer. That's why I would, like Jody said, when you see them when they come by, they're blowing and they're waving. They're stopping to talk because they know that you're going to take care of what they need and you're there to help them.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tag on to that, and I mean, just from personal experience and knowing you, that if somebody took their car to visual perfection, they're part of the family.
Yeah,
That's why you
Yeah.
recognize something car going down the road. And it doesn't matter what they're driving, it's about expectations, and it's about making that customer feel good about whatever. It doesn't matter if it's mom's minivan or if it's, daddy's new Ferrari or whatever, vice versa. Mommy's new
Yeah.
Ferrari and daddy's minivan. It doesn't matter. It is, they'd be part of that family.
yeah,
You know,
that's 100% correct.
Yeah, and I think that's the big, you can't fake that. And I think that today, like if I'm giving somebody advice, I got a young guy that we met out at the Southern Detailers Conference that I've been talking to about stuff. And the thing is, like, you can't fake that. You can't fake customer service, and you can't fake on authenticity. You have to
Yeah.
genuinely care that this person's vehicle it looks the best that it can to meet their expectations. And I think that's
Yeah.
the best advice is don't be fake and care.
Yeah.
Care about people. So
Yeah, so I guess from the 9-bay 3-ring circus of visual perfection, this is Jody Cedric reporting live with our guest Jamie Buchanan, Emily outside, and of course Rod on the other side. Any final things, Rod, before we bow out?
oh, man, have fun and do lots of good stuff. And Jamie, put him to work, make him wash a car or something. Because I'm gonna be napping
We're-
this tape in about
Hey,
5.
babe, we're caught up for now. He's getting ready to get a little bit of taste of what it's like to be in a detailing world. Yes, sir.
Yeah, buddy. So,
Yes, sir.
all right, guys. Well,
All right.
thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will check you guys same time, same bad channel just next week.
See you, bud.
See you later, man.
Yes, sir. See you, babe.
See ya.